Hey guys, excuse me. Lexicon 1971 asked me, or actually I guess his comment was, hey, let's take a closer look at that base. How do you do it? And he was talking about the kneeling Bloodraven Sergeant. So let me see if I can get pretty close to that. Nothing real dramatic. It's just sort of an ashen waste. Like I said, from the second book in the Bloodraven series, and again, this is a spoiler for those of you that haven't read it. I think it's called Tempest. Basically, they're fighting the Eldar outside of their fortress, and the volcano erupts while they're out there fighting, and it's because the Necron that are in that planet are awakening and basically coming up to the surface, and the volcano's erupting, and it's a really neat scene. I'm not a big fan of CS, or I think it's CS Goto or Gato, the author of the books, but I do love the Bloodraven's story. I think it's pretty neat. But anyway, he did a good job on that particular fight scene, and that's what's inspired me to create these characters and these bases, basically trying to fit into that scene, that battle. So. And basically the display board that I will eventually make should be taken from a moment in that battle. So anyway, just a little background on why I'm doing that simple ash waste base there. But anyway, back to the point of this video. How did I do it? Well, here I have a mix of various types of sand and rocks. So I don't have a really good pointer. I'm just going to use these tweezers here. This rock is like it's almost like a volcanic glass, or maybe like coal. It's just sort of a black shiny rock, very small, to give you an idea of scale. Anyway, so I'm not sure exactly where I picked that up. It was either like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or Big Lots, perhaps. I'm not sure, but basically it's in the home decorating section. It's really like a decorative sand. People use it to fill vases, and I'm not real sure what all you would do with it. But anyway, I know what I do with it. I use it to make bases. This second rock, I know definitely came from Michael's, again in that home decorating section. It's usually like near where the flowers are. Anyway, so these are just like it's almost like a slate, or maybe like flecks of sandstone, really thin. I thought it was ideal for the bases that I'm trying to make because it kind of gives it that I don't really know, it helps to really vary the surface, and because it is like a slate, I think it adds a lot to that ashen waste look, where you've got the occasional piece of rock sticking up, and for me it helps to sell the scale. And then finally, the bulk of what you see is this is all supposed to be red sand, but of course some fine particles of the other two got mixed in, but it's a very fine red sand, and color is of course not important because you know you're going to paint it. So, but it's a very fine sand, really tiny. So again, I think it helps to sell the scale. But again, this was just a decorative sand, a red decorative sand that I got. Again, I think it was either Michael's or Big Lots. I think this one might have come from Big Lots. They come in a huge bag, and they're like $1. Normally I wouldn't buy sand. I don't know why. It's silly, but I always thought, you know, you could just go outside and grab a handful of it. But you don't get the consistency. In some cases, you may want to have just a certain size of stone or a size of sand, and that's a little harder to get from just going outside unless you're going to take the time to sift it, and you know. But anyway, I digress. So basically I just mix it up in a container. And what I use to bond it to the base, some people use super glue, some people use just plain Elmer's glue, but I actually use the Carpenter's wood glue. I think it gives it a better bond. It's a little stronger. And usually what I will do is use an older brush to just apply the glue. So what I'll do is add a little water to the Elmer's glue, and then basically brush that onto the base. And since I paint the model first, you have to be careful when you're putting it on. I guess it doesn't matter really whether you're doing it at the beginning or end. The one thing I like to avoid is getting the glue anywhere on the model. I don't want it on his feet or anything, so I try to get it as close to his foot as possible. A lot of times it'll kind of wick up the side, or if you're lucky and you've allowed a little space under the foot, maybe you just did a few drops of glue. Sometimes the Elmer's glue will slide under the foot, which is okay, because that allows you to get the sand or the basing material right up to the side of the model. But a lot of times you'll see where the model is up to his ankle in basing material, or it's stuck to the side of the leg all the way up to the knee or something, you know, and it just looks, to me it looks silly. Unless they're running through mud, you know, I don't see that. Other than the dust getting on his greaves, I don't really see it going all the way up to his knee. So that's just my hang up. But anyway, so that's how it was done. Lexicon, I used Carpenter's glue, a little water to thin it down so that it'll brush on easier, but you don't have to. If you can get good control with the thicker stuff, then by all means. A lot of people say it really ruins your brush if you use it to do the glue. I don't find that to be true, as long as you wash the brush immediately after you do it. I think I've said that before, but you guys let me know what you think. So anyway, that is how I do the bases. That's incidentally also how I did the Imperial Guard objective, the Imperial Guard Last Stand piece of terrain that I did. Real simple, just that mix that you see there. And then the other thing I do is add, or actually I Chaos Black, base coat it, and then I do gray. I'm not exactly sure what shade of gray it is, but basically I just move up a color gradient, basically dry brushing a little lighter every time until, you know, I get to like pure white, and then I just barely touch it with the pure white, so kind of to give it that ash feeling. But anyway, that's really all there is to it. The other thing I wanted to touch on real quick is the Citadel Wash set. VBlog talked about it in a video that he put out, I think it was tonight, and he was kind of skeptical. I was the same way. When I first looked at them, I thought, hey, you know, these things, they don't look so good. But into I did the same test he did, you know, taking it out, seeing if it would stain, and it didn't, and I thought, well, this is useless. What I didn't know at the time is that these stains are waterproof once they dry. So you can actually do multiple coatings of different colors, which actually is pretty cool. I hadn't been able to do that before. And I did use the Ogren Flesh, which I think is the first one he picked up as well. And I used it to do my Telos model, and I was very pleased with it. I wanted to hate it. I wanted to be skeptical, you know, just like I was with the foundation paint and some other stuff. But I just thought, man, this is great. So if you guys have a differing opinion, let me know. I haven't used all of them yet, so I don't know, and I haven't used them on all of the I should say I haven't tried them in every application that I can. So I may still have problems with them, but thus far they seem to work great. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Alright, thanks for watching, guys.